What up, guys? I had a couple people reaching out and asking me how I have my belt set up, and I just realized I've never done my belt setup video, so I'm gonna walk you guys through how I have mine set up and the equipment I have on it. So we'll just start at the front here and kind of work our way back. So starting with the actual belt that I'm using, the Operator 3.0, by far our biggest seller. Most guys are running this. They want all the attachments, the D-ring, the HK hook, and then it also comes with the Sharpie loop. So probably out of all the belts we sell, this is like 90% of what people end up going for. Comes with the D-ring. Got our branded Sharpie marker there. Mechanics gloves, I usually just keep them on there. These are kind of like my go-to. I forgot the series. They're like the 0.2 millimeter or something like that. They don't last very long, but they have the most dexterity. So they're kind of like my go-to. I'll buy like 4 or 5 sets at a time. They'll wear out, within a few weeks how much I'm using them, and then I'll just swap it. The next thing I got here is the worm. It's pretty lightweight. It pretty much sits along the bottom side when I'm wearing this, along my leg. You don't notice that it's there. It's pretty light. And then when you do need it, it's super handy to have this as an option to wrap around that buttstock and maintain that good control of that weapon system if it's on your back. So then coming forward, these are kind of like my go-to mag pouches. They're the G-code. They're really nice. They're really good for tack mags. Most of my reloads have always been tack mags, so I've found, hey, that's pretty important. I've also, when I was in Afghanistan, I was running 40 mic out of these pouches as well. They have enough room where you can actually expand, put them in there. The other thing I like about them is they have a slight cant on them. So if you could see, they hook up really well to the belt, and then they have a cant. Coming over to the back side, the other reason I really enjoy these guys, they're actually, this is the P2 clips for the pistol pouches, and then the R2 for the rifle. And these guys are actually built for 1 3/4 belts, but there's enough flex in the molly that it'll pinch it closed and it'll keep a super tight package. Like there's absolutely no wiggle in these pouches up and down. So they work really well. Going along, my rifle pouch, yeah, same thing. I've always used the G-code, super nice. Good for maintaining control of the mag, and then super easy to get it in and out. Never had a mag fall out. The next thing is going to be a dump pouch. I don't know the manufacturer of this. This is some issued gear, but that's what I'm running here. This is, I want to say, a Mayflower IFAK, which is pretty nice. I like that you're able to move it up pull from both sides, depending on when I actually need to pull it, and then it keeps it pretty low, so when you're actually wearing plates, then it's not hitting into the top and pushing up. Next thing over would be my multi-tool, kind of just a standard Gerber. It's a little rusted, don't judge me on that. But generally what I like to do is keep a Gerber. It'll have my knife, screwdriver, pretty much all the bits that I need to maintain any of the equipment that I'm carrying. So moving over from there, I have a Safariland ALS. I know I'm going to get some questions on this, the drop. It's something that we've been working on for a little bit now. It's not out yet. It is super nice, so hopefully we can release it here soon. Moving forward, we're gonna have our Tourniquet dangler pouch, and the reason that we ended up going with this is we originally started with doing a 4-inch loop on the back side of these tourniquet pouches, but then it forced you to stick the tourniquet here, and depending on the guy's setup, he would run out of adjustment room or it would get in the way. So what we found is we just do a 2-inch attachment point, and this gives you a little bit more modularity of where you can stick the tourniquet, and then where it actually rides on your leg. It gives it a little bit more flex out. It makes it a little bit easier to get to, and then it's a little more comfortable when you're wearing it. The next thing over, it's It's a newer product for us, but it's a tail clamp. So essentially, that 1-inch elastic band that you would put around the belt, we've just taken the place and put an aluminum clamp in there so it won't budge. I've seen guys do everything from like electrical tape, all types of like tie wraps and stuff. So pretty much what we've done is just simplify it, make it super easy, and then once this guy's locked on, you have the torque specs. It's not going to slide on you, and it keeps the belt size the same consistently. So if you're one of those guys that's always swapping, taking your belt on and off and using it on the daily, and you find that sometimes this webbing starts to slip, tail clamp's pretty nice. This also will work on, because the way we build our belts, so it's a 2-inch belt, but the adjustment section is 1.75 inches. So this tail clamp will also work on like your Ronins, Blue Alphas, pretty much everybody else that's building their belt around this buckle. It'll work on them. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out and I'll let you know. It won't work on a 2-inch belt, so any like the Safe Life stuff or anything like that that's an actual true 2-inch on the adjustment side, it won't work. Alright, so starting off, your base layer belt, right? So your inner belt. So my go-to daily is going to be our EDC inner. So it's a reversible belt, and you can use it both ways. Essentially, that's the lockup right there. And it looks deceiving. You'd be like, hey, that would definitely slip, but it hasn't. I've used it for a while. It's just friction, so it keeps it in there. And then when you're at the range and you want to run it as an inner belt, you just take this guy out and you literally can flip this in your belt loops, slide it over, and now you got a 1.5-inch inner belt. This is super convenient for wearing pants like the Kuyus. They only have 1.5-inch belt loops. Shorts, being here in Florida, if I'm wearing more tactical pants like my Cries or Patagonias or something, I'm going to be going with the Clinch inner belt. So this is 2-inch in width, so you get more Velcro contact area. It's going to be a little thinner because it's built on this elastic webbing, and it's a little bit more pliable, so it'll fit through some of those belt loops that you normally wouldn't be able to get that full 2-inch belt through. This guy will slide through. It's also got an elastic section, so it would have a stretch section. So when you're wearing this guy, put it on upside down. So when you cinch it up, wearing it without the outer belt, you have a little bit more flex, and it'll be more comfortable. And then when you do need it, put it on as an inner. You can pull this guy real tight, and there's no more trying to feed it back through itself. It's a lot nicer to wear. And then if you're worried about a little bit of Velcro contact area loss here, well, you don't have it on the adjustment section of the outer belt anyways. So, but yeah, man, that's the setup. If you guys got any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always available. You hit me up on Instagram, the chat on the website, email. Shit, my phone number's up there. So thanks, guys.